Hello and welcome to this episode of Caught on Camera, the first of a two-part series in which we take a look at vintage fashion lovers and unique clothing designers. Coming up, we see a fashion graduate turning football shirts into puffer jackets, a talented sculptor transforming ordinary trainers into amazing works of art, and meet a woman who dresses in Regency-style costume. But first we learn about a woman who dopamine dresses and is encouraging others to join her. The stylist from Manchester says getting dressed is the best part of her day. She says if she's feeling low, she opts for a bold, rich tone, adding that it helps transform her into a bolder and better version of herself.
Happy Valentine's Day, here is my outfit. Now, I could come on here and say, this is what I would be wearing if I was going on a date. But I'm not going on a date, and that doesn't stop me from wearing it, because every day is dress up day. And maybe some days have more themes. So today is red and pink. Mwah. This is what I've ended up wearing today. Isn't it cute?
She felt she lost her identity shortly after becoming a mum and packed away her colourful clothes. But a few months later got them all out again after realising she could still dress colourfully. She finds lots of her clothes in charity shops and is encouraging others to dopamine dress.
This dress is from Oxfam and it is a Flora Kung vintage dress. This is a little placemat which I just cut a hole in. I went charity shopping yesterday and I got something which I know is gonna work with this outfit. So I bought a few goodies, but this is the one which I love the most. It's a little lilac tutu, aged 3 to 6 months. I am wearing it as a collar. Abso-freaking-lutely I am. Wait there. Let's get it on. Cover my lips, because I've got a lip prick on it. I might need to look in the mirror for this. One sec. And then I've got my earrings in. How really cute. Look! So cute. Tutus as collars, winners. Is it not the cutest thing ever? On my feet, my little loafers, smiley socks, and then for my bag, carrying on that smile. I think this cost me like £1. £1.
A fashion graduate runs a business turning people's old football shirts into puffer jackets. The Cheshire-based graduate launched her fashion business, Rose Ojo, in August 2024. She initially used football shirts which were lying around her house and upcycled them into brand new puffer vests, separating the front and the back of the shirt and using the sleeves for the collar. Her jackets cost £180 each, with them taking 2 days to make. She said that the quality of her jackets, meaning customers can wear them for years, is really important to her. Meet the young woman who is obsessed with the 1950s and has spent between £7,000 to £10,000 on her vintage collection.
Well, I've always loved the 1950s, but I probably started fully dressing 1950s when I was about 19, so about 3 or 4 years now. First item was a vintage dress from the 1950s, early 1950s. I've always liked the vintage 50s style with the silhouettes and the way that everything looks so feminine and pretty. When going out to just the cinema or going for a coffee, everyone was very done up and very, pretty. Fell in love with the music from Elvis Presley and, Frank Sinatra. And then I started to go to vintage events and then noticed that other people liked it. And then one day I started posting vintage content on social media, and then a few of my videos blew up, and which was lovely, and loads of people ended up following me. And then I thought, I'm just going to continue it, and now it's turned into what it has, and it's crazy, so yeah. altogether, I think I've probably got over 300 and maybe 400 pieces in my collection, but that includes, you know, everything between records and my record player, my jewellery, my dresses. My style was very questionable when I was younger. I was dressing like all my friends that I had at the time, and I was trying to blend in as much as I could, but I found out I wasn't truly happy, you know, in modern clothes, and I never felt as confident, and I was more self-conscious. And then it wasn't till a few years ago when I tried on my first vintage dress that I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, it felt like me. And I think I feel my full authentic self when I am, you know, dressed in a nice 1950s outfit. Yes, it's a very expensive world, and unfortunately I wish it wasn't, and I wish the prices reflected the same as they did back then. I constantly am buying, I'm constantly seeking out new stuff, so it would be hard to put a price tag on it. You know, if you love something, I'm willing to pay the price for a 70-year-old dress, so. I think it was like the very early beginning of last year, I started posting about vintage content in the 1950s and lifestyle, beauty and fashion, and all of a sudden my videos just blew up, which was crazy, as I did not think that was going to happen. I was just doing it for fun. So now I have a good little following on social media, and I post every day about, you know, vintage hair, where I go shopping, how to, you know, style outfits, and where I get my clothes from, and everyone's so lovely as well, which is, yeah.
A woman transforms old tea towels into dresses after teaching herself to sew on YouTube. The small business owner from Liverpool has always loved fashion and has been sewing since she was 14. She started upcycling some clothes from her mum, but found her niche when she transformed a Heinz ketchup tea towel into a dress. She loved her creation and launched her business Afraid Upcycling in December 2022. Now she makes £2,000 to £2,500 a month, transforming pre-loved tea towels into dresses, jumpsuits, jackets and skirts. She said she enjoys working with other people's ideas and fabrics, and said that her customers love the uniqueness of each item.
Here's part of the design process in making a upcycled tea towel skirt. So I drew up the sketch and calculated all of the measurements, and I went for this like channel for a belt. And initially I loved it, but after wearing it a few times and getting lots of pictures and videos, I realized I didn't really like the little frill at the top, and I didn't really like the gathering at the side. But I really did like the fact that you could just switch the skirt around and get like different looks. So it was back to the drawing board, and I went for a different style. So for this version, I incorporated a waistband like length at the top of the skirt. Then I did like a little buttonhole to feed the belt through. And I had a lot more fun trying to pin the different pieces and elements and ruffles and lace. And I much prefer this. It still has the different looks when you turn the skirt around. It has these like cute little details. And the gathering at the front can be adjusted, so if you wanted the tea towel to be featured more, you can do that.
Meet the woman who lives like Jane Austen, from dressing in Regency-style costume to writing novels.
I first fell in love with Jane Austen when I watched the BBC Pride and Prejudice in 1995. After that, I read all her books and I became obsessed with watching all the adaptations and reading everything that I could about her and visiting every location where she lived. I'm so in love with Jane Austen. I even wrote my own murder mystery series starring her as my sleuth, Miss Austen Investigates. I love the whole look of the Regency period, so much so that I got out my old sewing machine and I made my own Jane Austen costumes, and I even made my husband a Captain Wentworth jacket, which he looks very handsome in. And together we went to some of the Regency balls, which are held all over the UK to celebrate Jane Austen, and learnt how to Regency dance. And I'm ashamed to say that he turned out to be much better at it than me.
A talented sculptor gets her kicks out of turning pairs of trainers into incredible works of art, which he sells on to celebrities. The sculptor from Coventry can spend up to 400 hours at a time turning Nike and Adidas footwear into intricate pieces of art from her studio at home. She has transformed sneakers into ambulances, apartment blocks, schools and more. Her creations have racked up more than 40 million views on TikTok and Instagram. She says she has great conversations with her customers and enjoys getting to make art for people who really love it.
As you know, I turned a pair of sneakers into an apartment, and today is the final recap. We are saying goodbye to Project 08. Honestly, thank you so much for the love. Common comment I got though was, why ruin a brand new pair of shoes? I get it. But you could also say, why ruin a brand new canvas when you're doing a painting? The word ruin is a bit heartbreaking. But I have taken what you have said on board, and my next project, Project 09, is made using 5 pairs of recycled sneakers. It was kind of great giving life to something that I could tell like no one else wanted. Getting back to the video, here you can see me make art for the art to put into the art. I think I said art enough times. But the whole point of this sculpture was to use the box of a sneakers like I've never seen before. And as I start seeing more sneaker sculptures pop up, I gotta make sure that I keep the ideas fresh. Like, I'm just thinking about Project 09 because low-key, guys, I don't want to admit this to you, but I've already completed it. It's crazy. It's literally like, I love it so much. But for Project 08, I had to incorporate aliens. I managed this person called Oki from Oki's planet. And if you're watching this, we're all aliens living there. And of course, these aliens needed a pool to swim in. Oh my god, like, I think I made my own dream house. Like, I was thinking, oh, what does an apartment need to be like? Oh yeah, an actual apartment. I was saying, yeah, what do I want? I want a fancy ass garden. I want a pool. I want to be able to float between each floor. The final photos are already posted.